Hey everybody, welcome to the new episode of Gravity Wells. Today we're going to be looking at how the gravity wells are affecting the storm Teddy about to hit the Canada's east coast. We'll also look at the tropical storm Beta that is hitting the southern part of the United States as well. Here's a gravity well map. I'll turn off the weather briefly just for a second so you can get the basics of what a gravity well map is. If anyone hasn't seen one before, it's the same type as used by the ancients like Perry Reese. Each line is the same distance as the equator, being a full circle around the globe. If you want more information, look up Great Circle Maps. That's what this is. So anyways, the distance for each one of these lines is not made up. The positions are actually measured by the equinox. They're the tropic points, the equator points, the geographic North Pole. And the only other two spots I have located here is Zealandia and Atlantis, the two opposites of the South Pole. So we'll just get into the weather right now. If anyone wants more information about gravity well maps, just put it in the chat. I'll do another special soon. Alright, so here's an active look at the storms for the maps that we have in real time. And here's what we have is the one going to hit Canada's east coast. It's looking pretty devastating. Beta is looking pretty beta. We'll check it out right now on the NHC or NOAA.gov website and see what information they have for us. There it is. Alright, here we have Tropical Storm Beta. It is, as of 1400 or 0400 hours PM, September 21st. Maximum sustained winds of 40 knots or 45 miles per hour. Minimum pressure 999. Movement 4 knots or 5 miles per hour. So it's looking like a pretty weak storm, but I still advise everyone to take note of it. It's obvious that there's still potential flooding and whatnot. Storm surge maybe. Alright, let's take a look at Beta. Or no, Teddy is next. I don't know if it's just me or the storm name's like really lame this week. Beta and Teddy sounds like about two of the weakest storms you could get. But you never know. Maybe Teddy is one of those things where it sounds a lot weaker than it actually is. Officials in Canada were warning, I'm in Canada too, but I'm further inland. But they were warning that these storms can actually hit our provinces worse than is expected. So keep an eye out for it. We also have a disturbance, 80% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. That looks like it's near, what would that be? The Azore island chain. Alright, that's pretty interesting. Well, let's get back to what we're here for, the gravity wells. Alright, let's see how these storms might be being affected by the gravity wells. You can see that the line patterns often imitate what the actual storm will do. Here we can see the Z pattern or S pattern is lining up pretty well with the energy fields emanating from the gravity well above the South American tip. If anyone's familiar with this gravity well chain, alright, next we'll take a look at Beta and how it's being surrounded. Looks like Beta is caught in one of the orbital formations around the Gulf of Mexico gravity well. Scientists in the region have noted that there is an anomaly right at this location. So if anyone wants to look into the Gulf of Mexico heat anomaly, that's roughly where you'll find that. Alright, let's see what this storm is doing. You can see with the equator gravity line, it will also have like a constant stream of clouds around it. Alright, so let's go up here, starting in the North Pole gravity wells. You can see some decent formation around that one. Now, if anyone has seen my map shows before, you'll notice that we often get this type of anomaly, and it usually coincides with the red line pattern. I'm not sure what this anomaly is yet, if it is actually cloud formations or if it's just an anomaly within Google itself. If I had to guess, it's within Google itself. But you'll notice that it's often associated with this line, the red line, and it's always just slightly to the left of it. I don't know why. Maybe it's an indication that my map pattern is actually slightly off in that direction. Could be. It's like, what's wrong? Either the Earth or my pattern. It's probably mine. Looks like there's a little bit of formation around this gravity well here. I've never been to this range before, but I bet you it's a pretty good one. Alright, I'll turn off the red field for now, because I find other than that line anomaly, there usually isn't much to the red field. My two favorite fields with the gravity well map, if people want to see them, I'll show you with the weather turned off. Or let's finish the weather first. Get a little bit ahead of myself. Alright, let's check Australia. You can see that the yellow line pattern illustrates Australia quite well. Australia is pretty much centered underneath this, and I believe that the southern tip of this gravity well is responsible for the creation of marsupials. Now I believe that evolution is tied to gravity wells as well, so it's not just formation, earthquakes, weather, but it's also driving evolution. So if anyone wants to see more about my theories on that, just check out my Facebook page. I'll have to start leaking that soon, one of these days. Alright, let's check out the South Pole swirls. There seems to be a definite pull from the Atlantis gravity well, pulling a lot of the cloud formations right out of the South America. It's interesting. Now if people are wondering why I call this the Atlantis pull, or gravity well, I'll show you. I recently, when I was making these maps, drew the circle. I wasn't even sure what to call it, so I ended up zooming in to the bottom. If anyone's heard of the Bouvet Island chain, this is where the Nazi expedition was last witnessed on their way to the Antarctic. And it turned out that the Nazi vessels had remained here, and they named this location for me. They called it the Schwabenland Seamount. And I believe Schwabenland was one of the terms for Atlantis, used by the Nazis. So I checked out this island chain, and it turned out to be recently submerged. So it'll likely do when the sea levels changed. This one used to be above land. There might even have been a land bridge leading right to it. Can you imagine? Off the tip of Africa. Yeah, and then the counteract one is Zealandia. That's back when Zealandia used to be above land. I'll show you what it used to look like back then also. I have the continent map for this one. I should map the Atlantis one. But anyways, here's what Zealandia looks like. And this is actually a map mostly from academics. They also agree that Zealandia used to be a continent shaped just like this. And the boot of Zealandia happens to have the gravity well right in the heel. Almost like it's created it. You'll notice that most of the gravity well fields, if they're strong enough, will push all the land away around them. That's why you have the formations in North America. The North Pole, it pushed it all away. Hudson Bay, Gulf of Mexico, this area pushed all that. This pushed it away, pushed it away, pushed it away. This almost pushed it away, but I think it's because it's so close to the tip, it's really mapping the shape. Yeah, you can find here, it was definitely involved in mapping this part of the southern tip of Asia. India and Southeast Asia. You know that pottery of the goddess you often see in museums? How it looks like this fat woman? If you notice, that's what this is. You sort of see the shape of it. This used to be a land bridge that went across. I'll show people what it looks like on this side. I don't know, most scholars don't talk about it, but in ancient times, it wasn't just the Bering Strait, but we also had another land bridge going across to Europe. I'll show you it here. Yeah, so that's what the land bridge used to look like before the destruction of the land bridge. And that occurred when the South Pole split in half. If anyone hasn't seen where the South Pole split in half, I just recently learned about it. It's an academic fact. A lot of the different tectonic plate videos, they admit that the South Pole used to be one giant South Pole of Australia, Antarctica, and Zealandia all merged together into one. You can actually turn on the Earth's tectonic plates. I can do that for you, just so we can see where it's split in half. See there? We used to have one giant South Pole. Now, oddly enough, the temperatures and cycles of the Earth have been changing, not because of man-made climate change, but I believe because of the South Pole split. And the pole has been bouncing back and forth between the two poles on the south ever since. It's doing a wobble. I don't know, like how our planet has great precessions in different ways. This is one of them. Our climate is always going to be changing back and forth. And we've even proven that records show that Antarctica has tropical rainforests underneath the ice. So there's fossils of that and whatnot. And then there goes to show that Australia, it used to be cold as well. So it's been switching back and forth. And ironically, right now, the climate hysteria people are not talking about, Australia is breaking cold records. So they're looking towards the beginning of another ice age. The pole is going to shift from the South Pole here to here. And you can imagine when that changes, it also changes our North Pole. And you can see the evidence of when that change began, and the North Pole used to do the same drift pattern. Instead of drifting from the South Pole, it's drifting from here to here. So that's our two North Poles. Basically the same distance that our South Pole wobbles, but on the opposite side. So you can see that's why Canada's East Coast gets devastated by the Ice Age worse than Canada's West Coast. And I actually came to realize just this week, that's why Canada's West Coast has the bigger trees, bigger mountains, bigger animals, because they're not getting wiped out by the Ice Age all the time. It's only this side of the Earth, or the continent, that does. So that's what we can look forward to with the different changes. The climate hysterians have also not been talking. My region here in southern Ontario, we broke records this year for not only the coldest spring ever on record, but now the coldest summer, and now we're going to be going into the coldest fall. Earliest snowfall, earliest frost. We already had frost in fucking summer. So yeah, that's what's happening. The west coast of Canada will be warming up as the North Pole shifts away. And people are talking about a giant pole flip. I don't think it's going to flip completely. I think it just changes back and forth. And you can see this track here of the different discoloration on the bottom of the Earth's ocean's floor. This is the track of where the North Pole goes. And it also happens to be the magnetic north, where its track, we've tracked it so far in our records, it's gone from there to there. So I think it wobbled a little bit down in there, but then it's going back up here. It's going to go back around. I don't understand, has scientists not explained that that is why these deeper parts are there? It's because that's where the pole is shifting over and over. It's carved its way in through the top of our planet. So it's pretty interesting. If anyone wants to get another look at what that used to look like. Back before the South Pole split in half, this is what our North Pole used to look like. A giant cube shape. Nice perfect cube. 2 land bridges to Asia, 1 to Europe. But boom, ever since the South Pole split, that's what you end up with. Smash track of where now the pole keeps rotating and rotating and rotating. And I actually have a few different theories of what caused the South Pole to split in half. Maybe I should get into that in another video, because we're already at the ending point of the show. Alright, Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's wrap it up by checking out to see if we have any other weather patterns lining up with the gravity wells. And we'll turn off the plate boundaries because we don't need that right now. I think there was one other storm formation that I wanted to show you guys. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, a little bit of arch around that one. Oh, here we are. They say you can sometimes make out the gravity well in the actual cloud formation. You can almost see the round shape right around it. So I don't know if you zoom out, you can really see, like, there's one. Yeah, so isn't it neat how that red line formation was there again? I think it must just be an artifact. If anyone in the chat knows, if they could post what those line clouds are. They occur occasionally on different spots of my map, and they always correlate, well, not always, but 90% of the time with the red line. So I don't know what's with that. Alright, so that was the weather, as much as I wanted to show everyone. I wanted to show everyone too how the map outlines the continents. You can see it shapes Australia, shapes the North Pole extremely well, especially if you consider what the North Pole used to look like before it got smashed. It would definitely have this little land bridge going up to here, and another land bridge going to here, meeting in a triangle just like it did on this side. Now, if people are wondering why the South Pole doesn't align very well, it's because the South Pole is actually the blue field. If you turn it on, you can see it outlines it rather well. Not too many of the land masses are outlined good by the blue field, but South America sure is. And if anyone's wondering what this eye point here is, just like the First Nations legends talk about, this is the eye of the elephant. The elephant was the great elephant that our planet was created from. And his head is tied to the tail of Turtle Island. And if you're wondering where his body is, that's his body. His head usually attached there, but it got cut off. He was beheaded in a sacrifice. There we are. See, there's where the elephant's head used to be. And the Mediterranean is where the blood is still flowing out from the decapitated head. That's why this water is warmer. And if you're wondering about the tears of the elephant that he's still crying to this day, it's the Amazon. So who knew, eh? The Amazon River is the tears of the world elephant. Alright, thanks for watching the show, everyone. If you want to help out my show, all you got to do is click on the links below, the more information button, and I'll have something called Patreon link, and that's if you want to join the other Patreons and keep my show going. Society 6 has my logo on different products, including bed sheets. It's finishing quick is my specialty. And then GameKit is the one where you can get paid to be a gamer. If you want to do that, make sure to check it out. Hideout TV is one you can get paid to watch videos, just like YouTube, except instead of all the ad revenue just going to the video creators, that some of it also goes to the viewers, like you and me, because I watch Hideout TV too. Alright, Bitcoin is a free spin that you can do, and I guess I'll show you guys the free spin right now. In order to do the free spin on the Bitcoin Casino, sign up at the more info button below, and then here on the side it says free Bitcoin, and at the bottom it says roll. So just click roll, boom. You can see my Satoshi went up to 25,607. Alright. Alright, so if anyone can help do that, that's sweet. And I also have the virtual mate sex machine. It's for adults only, but men only. But ladies, I won't leave you hanging, so you can call me if you need one. A sex machine, that is. virtual mate is only for adults and men. Alright, so I think that's everything for today's show. If anyone wants to see more information about gravity wells, make sure that you don't forget to put it in the chat below. Any of the comments I'll try to answer as quick as I can, because finishing quick is my specialty. Alright, take care everyone, and have a good night. Oh yeah, and be safe. That Hurricane Teddy is coming towards Canada and Beta in the States, so make sure you listen to all the authorities. Stay as safe as we can. Bye for now. Here's 3 at the same time.